folks. I gotta ramble about Elden Ring. I've been having a lot of thoughts ever since it came out about how so many people talk about it, and then nobody has said nothing because everybody's wrong. And that really grinds my gears. So I made a little dossier outline of what I gotta talk about. Set the record straight, especially with the DLC coming out. It's a good time. Oh, because people say the stupidest shit, and yet everyone loves it. And then they're wrong about everything. Mostly about the bosses, boss balancing and design and all that horse shit. True. So what? My little preamble. What is going to be discussed? As I said, there's too many people complaining about boss design, that they're unfair, they're poorly thought out, the game cheats you, and it feels. That was the thing. But that's the thing. So many people are saying that even the victories they don't feel earned because the game's so unfair. And I know why they say that. I've seen the video. I've seen how people play. So I'll touch on the open world in the beginning because yeah, not a lot to say about that. It's pretty simple. And then mainly how everyone. It's not an Elden Ring thing. The problem with people talking about Elden Ring online is that nobody knows how to talk about anything online. And it drives me crazy reading what anyone says because it's all wrong about everything. Yeah, there's three main points. Two big ones. How people are wrong about the Elden Ring bosses and how people are wrong about everything. So maybe redundant. The open world, I pretty much agree with what everyone's saying. It's a pretty beautifully crafted until Lindell, the capital city. You can tell they ran. You can definitely tell they ran out of. We're running out of time post Lindell because that is a very differently designed part of the game. But it's like it's really good the first time. It's like the world draws your attention to go and explore every little niche. But like it's ball gripping, like you want to keep exploring. The problem with open world exploration like that in a finely crafted, purposely built world is it only works once. It's not like Minecraft. It's not randomly generated so you can stumble on something new. And it's also not like Minecraft where it's a sandbox where you can build anything. You know, you find a cool cave and then there's a spell in it. And that's going to be the same spell or weapon that's going to be there every time. So the open world kind of sucks on repeat playthroughs because it's just a big place to run a horse to get what you want. Which, you know, for the first time experience, like, you know, I'm glad I had it. But the only thing I can compare that to is how fucking long Elden Ring took to make, and who knows how much of it was because of making that open world. Like Elden Ring took years to make compared to Sekiro, which was started development after Elden Ring and came out way before it and is a better game. Lol. So, you know, financially, the amount of effort it takes to make that open world, that's a game philosophy problem. Like Breath of the Wild 2. Should they be making open world games like this? Especially when the dungeon areas, the self-contained little places are some of the best in the whole Soul series. Multi-layered, looping back around multiple path dungeons that are just really cool to explore and be in. And because they aren't bloated with open, boring zones with random enemies and loot pickables and a half-assed crafting system as a payoff, feels a lot more rewarding. Yeah, the open world. Cool to explore the first time. No real payoffs. In multiple playthroughs. So, it's nice you can go anywhere, but you can do that in Dark Souls 1 for like up until Renolondo. So, that's it. It doesn't need a big bloated world to be, open and free roaming. So that kind of, with how much effort it takes to design a world like that, time, it doesn't feel worth it in the game. As cool as it is, and it's not Minecraft. You don't have a payoff for having a massive world full of resources because you can't do that much with it. You can't build a house in Elden Ring. You can only make like arrows and sleep potions. So yeah, open world. It's perfect the first time up until Lindal. So Elden Ring. Okay, now to the meat. 7 minutes in. Hope this is good background noise for no one to listen to. Elden Ring bosses are very interesting, and what people say online about them is even more interesting. Because, I did my first playthrough, maybe, I forget how it went, maybe New Game Plus before I started looking at things online. And then I became addicted to reading Elden Ring Reddit. To get mad at idiots, because that's what Reddit's for. Because what was Elden Ring Reddit? I haven't looked at it since like a couple months after the game came out. One, playing about PvP doesn't matter to me. I don't PvP. So filter that straight out. Let me solo her memes. A straight up third of every post is that. So internet humor, we got a joke. So everyone has to say it once. And then it's all about complaining about the boss designs. Which that hit me like a truck. Because I played the game on my own and I fell in love with the bosses. And then to hit these online forums and to see the most insane shit. And then everyone's agreeing with each other. And I know they're wrong. Their experiences are correct. What they say happened to them happened. But why is dead wrong. Because my experience was great. Because people are saying, like, all the bosses, they cheat you, they're unfair, they're like slot machines, so they're not even rewarding to beat. Poorly thought out, insane. And it's like, this is just like a big thing, because Kai, I don't watch streamers, his playthrough is, trending. And so the discussions come back again. It's like, he's using a cheating build, as if those exist. And it's like, that's fine. The game cheats you, so why not cheat it? Insane ideas. It's like, calling Moonveil cheating. Moonveil is a phenomenal weapon. It does everything right. A lot of damage. It's quick, which is important because the bosses in the game are quick, so recovery times of weapons are important. It also does a lot of stance damage. It stance breaks the weapon art stance breaks people like a motherfucker. Big important in the game. Because starting out, if I want to talk about boss combat, why don't I talk about how the game combat works? Lay it down. Dark Souls combat. You spend stamina to roll and attack. That's it. You roll to dodge a boss attack, and you attack to lower their HP. And whoever's HP hits 0 first, mess up too many rolls, you die. Hit them more times than they hit you, they die. Never get hit and keep hitting them. Eventually they'll die. You only got to do 1 damage. It was some weird healing thing, but so it's a resource management game. It's about economy of resources. Because if you run out of stamina, you can't roll and you can't attack, meaning you will get hit and die, and you can't hit them and they can't die. So, simple. Don't want to go with this. I had an idea. But because it's about boss mechanics. And they're going to heavily relate to rolling and the game design. Oh yeah, because I mentioned how Moonveil is a cheat weapon. But what's really good about it is how fast it is. Because the bosses are fast. So people just don't engage with the bosses. They think they're too fast. They cheat. You can't interact with the boss in Elden Ring because they're just too fast and too cheaty. Shit, I don't want to edit. But I think I'm losing the plot. Thinking. Base of Dark Souls combat. Rolling around. And Ender hitting them. I think when I talk about Melania, that'll matter more because she has the self-heal. Oh, that's what I wanted. The problem with people telling the bosses are unfair is because they treat bosses like a fucking slot machine. Because honestly, I was confused as fuck as to why people are saying the bosses are unfair, cheating, and they feel like they're just random. Like, you don't even know when you're going to win. Because people fight these bosses like they're fucking slot machines. It's all about, you see a guy's gameplay on Reddit, it's like, this boss is unfair, I don't know what to do. Then they're just spamming jump attacks and rolls. And, they get hit. Of course they get hit. And they die. Because you're treating it randomly, so, you're going to get hit. And then the Estus Flask is like bad luck protection. It's like, oh, I spammed rolls and jump attacks and got hit. Estus Flask, reset, try again. Which, it's just more chances. It's just more random chances. And then and then so many Elden Ring bosses. I mean, it's been a thing forever in Dark Souls. I love to do it too. If your health's low, chug an Estus. But you gotta treat chugging an Estus like you're losing an opportunity to attack. Because if you're at a safe time to attack, that's a safe time to drink Estus. So you're losing on damage to reset your HP. That's how it should work. But people spam Estus. The bosses have a move that punishes you for drinking Estus. Because you did it at a time when the boss isn't doing anything. He's just looking at you. So they don't have a move queued up. They're not in a recovery state from an attack. So they just attack you. Like the fucking foreskin guys who shoot the flame balls at you. Reddit complaining about these NPCs are reading my buttons. Like it's a fucking fighting game. It's like, oh, you hit a button and it has a 0 frame reaction. Like, yeah, it catches you off the first time. The boss is far away from you, and the second you hit SS button, he queues up a fireball attack to hit you. That should only get you once. It should be clear that if you go for an Estus when he's in a complete neutral state at range, he's going to sling a fireball at you. You can't do that against him. You have to wait for a better time. But they call it bullshit. That's the thing. That's it right there. Simplified. People call the game random bullshit because they treat it like a fucking lottery machine and then they don't understand the mechanics at all. Is the guy... If you play it like a lottery machine, it's going to feel like a lottery machine and the game's not going to be interesting and it's going to feel like it cheats you when you lose, when you're spamming your roll and jump attacks and you keep getting hit. So the foreskin guys... One for their fireball attack, which is, it's a simple thing. It's an Estus punish for being too greedy on when you want to heal. which that segues into how people say the bosses are poorly thought out. They're just cheap and easy, spam no thought whatsoever. And everyone's favorite boss to shit on is the Foreskin duo, which I don't like them either. But me not liking them means they're poorly thought out and shit and badly implemented. Maybe they're not perfect, but how could you fight them and not think there's so much deliberate design intention in them? First obvious thing, there's pillars everywhere in the room. Remember how they throw a fireball at you when you chug? There's a pillar. You can stand behind a pillar and heal. There's two of them. Unfair. But then you notice immediately is that one will have a passive AI while he'll sit back in range, usually throws fireballs, which you can use the pillar's line of sight, and one will be aggressive and follow you around and go for melee attacks. So it's morely about kiting one of them around corners and attacking him while trying to control the line of sight on the one back. It is quirkier as it works out to AI mob minions, so it doesn't play out as fun as it sounds, but the design is so it's right in your fucking face. And then if you want to cheat them, like, they're weak to sleep potions. They sleep for a minute. There's an easy mode for them. You put them to sleep and beat their ass. Mostly what makes it more complicated is that 50% they become like enraged. And that's when you want to kill them fast. But you can't kill them fast because then you're not looking at your position. You go around them but hit one doesn't attack and you roll past them behind him and attack him. That could change the positioning on the ranged ones. Now you're getting hit by fireballs. It's a lot to manage. Which is why parrying is good because you get to stay still. Parrying's OP. So, I think the Gods Can Do is a good boss of everyone's wrong, but it's hard to tell because no one really likes the boss anyway. Even if you think about how they should work and, you know, they're manageable, they're still not fun. Which leads into the next boss people complain about. Malekith. You know, because he's the boss after them, so that's a good segue. Malekith isn't a very complicated boss either, but people say he's bullshit because he hits hard with the damage over time. First of all, just don't get hit by him. Then the damage doesn't do anything. It's mostly a second phase. His first phase is kind of like quick with like a little attacks. He's kind of fun to duck and weave in between, but it's mostly Malekith's second phase where he gets the big bleed sword, fire, evil. Mostly just kind of like go behind him and hit him in the ass. But he's easy to get greedy on because he does like really slow attacks. The big thing for me in the game is bosses who do like slow attacks with like a big wind up in an arc, so they kind of bait you into rolling early. So I get hit by Malekith a lot. But I know that's me. That's me. Oh, me, baby. So. But then people call Malekith bullshit. Because he hits you and you die and the damage over time. So he's very stressful. Because you can survive the hit but die the dot. So you need to chug an Estus, but that just leads you to getting hit again and dying. But that's if you treat him like a slot machine. Like, it's unfair that he has a dot on his hit. Like, you're expected to get hit. Like, you're expected to use all your extra reroll chances in the Elden Ring to get more hits on him and trade hits with him. But you can't trade hits with him. He hits too fucking hard. So that's ridiculous. Ridiculous. Next, I wrote down Radagon Elden Beast. Elden Beast. Everyone loves to hate Elden Beast. Honestly, he's a mid-boss. His biggest sin is being the last boss. And he's being tied to Radagon. Which, oh, Radagon, I love you. Elden Beast is okay. People think he's assigned with Torrent. And I can see that because he goes far away. But he feels like he was designed knowing that you can't use Torrent. It's not like he goes that far away. and most of his difficulty is him overlapping attacks while you try to close the distance, which, with how they work out, Torrent would just negate, because he doesn't really do anything when you get on him, so he's okay. Elden Beast is okay. The biggest problem is he just takes away Radagon as the last boss of the base game, and not including Miss Bonus Boss. Radagon's so good. I can't believe people hate Radagon. He has very deliberate, chunky combos. When he's swinging that hammer, there's big openings. You roll, attack, roll, attack. He's such a good dance. Like, you want to be on him and dance with him. It's so good. Godfrey first phase is even kind of the second phase once I get more comfortable with him. But Godfrey first phase, those big meaty swings where it's like roll through them and his recovery time is long enough, you can get another attack in. It's like the momentum of that fight. Which is why I think people complain about Radagon, Malth, a lot of bosses, is they're fucking scared of the bosses. People don't stay in on them. They're afraid to fail a roll or spamming rolls and just losing all that, but the bosses reward you with fun if you stay on them. Treating rolling like part of the dance. It's so good, which is, it's kind of like where I said I think Sekiro gameplay makes it the best in all the Souls games for me, is because instead of rolling, you get to deflect. So when a boss attacks you, you parry them. You don't get the riposte like in the Souls games, just because you're supposed to be spamming deflect. But what Sekiro changes is that the boss's HP isn't really important. It's all about their poise meter or stance meter, because the HP bar very small in the corner, stance meter giant glowing orange in the middle of the screen, which is where I think Elden Ring fucks up, because Elden Ring stance breaking is key to boss fights, and just like in Sekiro where it rewards you for constantly blocking their attacks to build it up, the stance meter in Elden Ring works the same way. It wants you to stay in on them, attacking them to build it up so you get a critical hit. But unlike Sekiro, the stance meter isn't in the UI. So, you know, like, it's a self-explanatory thing. It's like you stay on them, you hit them, their stance doesn't recover, and they get stunned and you get the critical hit them. But it's like Sekiro where it's such a key part of the combat. It's a huge reward for keeping momentum. Stay in there. Keep hitting them. And Radagon, since he has nice pauses between his swings where he can get an attack, like, he feels like you're staying in on him like a Sekiro boss, and it's so good. So good. Good. Amazing. So amazing. Oh. That's why Sekiro's amazing, too. Because you just want to stay on them, trading deflects for attacks, lowering their HP bar and increasing their poise at the same time. Especially since poise recovery is related to their HP, so the lower their HP, the less they recover in between your attacks. So you really start building momentum as their HP goes lower, their stance goes higher, and then you get a finishing blow on them. Like Sekiro's highs are so good because the game wants you in there. And Elden Ring's not different. It just doesn't show itself as good by not having a stance bar meter on the bosses, which is a bummer. So Elden Beast, he's okay. He sours the Radagon fight because Radagon is perfect. And people are complaining about Radagon as a bullshit boss. What is he? Steals your range attacks. He has like weird teleport range attacks. Like, yeah, he has like gap closers that are hard to deal with. Stay in on him. Don't be scared. That's a big thing for me. Because when, I don't know a boss, like, I want to keep my distance away from them and see what they do. I tell myself, so I'm telling you, you gotta get in there. Because it turns out to beat the boss, you gotta hit them. You gotta get in there and hit them. Me talk about how Radagon feels so good to roll and attack. Like, he's is designed perfectly with the base of Dark Souls combat, rolling and attacking. He's so perfect Dark Souls. What is it, Patrician TV? Love that guy. But he made his Elden Ring review, not the joke one, the longer joke one. At least I think it's a joke because some of the points didn't make sense. Like that Radagon was designed with a shield. Come on. No boss is designed with a shield. Sadly, I mean they did like the shield block counter attack in Elden Ring, which is awesome. It just doesn't work on bosses because bosses don't stagger when they hit you with a shield. So you go for a shield block, lose a shit ton of stamina because that's based on damage dealt and bosses hit hard. So it doesn't stagger them. So you go for the sword revenge shit, whatever it's called. And the bosses hit you while you're doing it. So it's like everything sucks. You have no stamina, you have no HP. It doesn't work. It's great out in the world against enemies that actually do stagger. You know, like some Kappa demon shit where it's like, that's a boss you take a shield to because the dogs stagger when they hit your shield. So it makes it really easy to kill them. Kappa demon mention. So yeah, Patrician's great about talking about Bethesda games. Big meme on his Elden Ring video. Radagon with the fucking shield. Lol. Mohg? Ooh, Mohg is good because a big thing people say about the Elden Ring bosses, they cheat, so cheat them. Use unfair bullshit. What do people do to Mohg? What do you do to Mohg? He says his Ein, zwei, drei, and you fucking laser beam him. Skip the second phase. Get rid of it. Because I'm sure most people, they hit the second. People don't really talk about Mohg. They don't really know good or bad. So maybe I'm assuming a little bit how people talk about Mohg. Because the second phase, first time, kind of feels like bullshit. He's flying around all over the place and he's dropping. People complain about the burning blood puddles. It's like he has a big long arena, so some area denial isn't the biggest deal in the world. It's just something to think about because he has really slow attacks, which means I get hit by them. But Mohg's, I did like a knight roleplay build, full plate with just an upgraded longsword. So it's like mediocre damage, not dog shit, but not Moonveil. So I couldn't, and I wasn't using spells, so I couldn't cheat Mohg. I had to fight a second phase, and it was amazing. Cough. He has such meaty swings, like Radagon, so it feels good to duck and weave and get hits in between them. And he adds the extra layer of the area denial, so your approach to him is a little bit different based on where the blood splatters. And he flies around, which has a big recovery time on the attack, or I think he actually has if you follow him, he will do an attack when he lands, if I remember right. Which is the best part about the boss AI is the boss AI actually changes up their combos and what attacks they do based on what you do. That's the thing about these bosses that people feel like they cheat and unfair with this unfair and they react to you. It's you. If you run up to him and he attacks you, if he flies away, lands, and doesn't do an attack, and so next time you run up to him and he does attack, it's not like he's cheating you. It's like, oh, he does that when I do this, so now I'll run up to him, roll through attack, and then punish him. Hey. But so Mohg flies around, you can punish his landing attack, and he moves to a different part of the arena where there's not as much blood buildup, so you kind of get like a reset on the ground game. And he's meaty. He's not very complicated. That's kind of all he does. He has a 2-hit combo where he runs up to you and slams it. He has his 3 swipes. Pretty simple guy. He's fun. Fight his second phase. Don't be scared of Mohg. Mohg's good. Melenia. Putting off Melenia. Melenia has one problem. She's an amazing boss fight. She's not poorly designed. She isn't bullshit. She's an incredibly well thought. She's not a secret Sekiro boss. She works beautifully with Elden Ring combat. but she has a different spin compared to ragon where it's roll an attack. Melenia can get hits done. So you can break her combos by attacking her at the right time. She has hyper armor where it doesn't always work, but it's not random. Once you learn her attacks, what time she has hyper armor, you'll know. She has one problem, which it's an annoying one. Let everybody say it. Waterfowl dance. But just a part of it. If you think a waterfowl dance is 3 burst attacks, you know, where she jumps in the air, spins her blade, lands, jumps in the air, spins her blade, lands, jumps in the air, spins her blade, lands. The second and third part are easy. She'll do her first dash, land, and then when she starts her second one, just roll through her. And then when she lands and starts the third one, just lock onto her, walk backwards. Second and third part, done. One roll, walking backwards. Easy. The first part is what ruins her for some people. I got over it. It does suck, because as I said before, these bosses want you in on them. Constant movement, rolling, attacking, stay on them. Keep the momentum, build up that stance meter, stance break, and get a crit and repeat. Coughing. Water. Oh. We'll agree. Poor balance, imitation, hitbox, timings, whatever it is. Do not take damage in melee from the first part of Melenia's roll. Requires a very specific timing to abuse her lock-on and her tracking during the attack, so she whips herself around you instead of following you. That's not good. I don't know. I mean, I haven't really been following Elden Ring patches, but I feel like I would have heard about it if they changed Waterfowl Dance. I also would have forgot about it. Certainly they did a shit ton of changes to Radon, which that big boy needed a hitbox rework on his swords. Just, you know, like it sucks. Big hitboxes on him. It just makes it hard to dodge. And he's already a big guy, so he's hard to keep track of. Like, his weapons are off screen. So, this is the first part about Melania's Waterfowl Dance. Just needs to fix like that. Yeah. But good God. See, that's just me. That's my takeaway, my opinion, my fix for Melania to make her perfect. Is just fixing that. Because if you could just dodge roll behind her and consistently not take damage from the first part of Waterfowl Dance, but then people treat it like it's the end of the fucking world. And that she's bullshit, poorly designed, poorly thought out, random horse shit, bad boss, dog shit. But this is, it's an unfortunate situation. The first part of her Waterfowl Dance is, it's not impossible to get clipped by it. If you do enough, fine enough roll, you'll get clipped. You'll be fine. You won't die. And the end of her Waterfowl Dance gives you a perfect chance to heal anyway. So, like, you're not going to lose that much HP from getting clipped, especially if you just have some armor on. So, it's manageable. A little annoying. Sucks. But to fucking cry about it like it ruined the game. Imagine someone online. The hyperbole. I'm just like, bullshit. It also is, Melenia hit you. She healed. Yeah, fucking little bit. It's like, that's why she's bullshit. She heals when she hits you. First of all, like Malekith. What do you think that means? Don't get hit. She punishes you more for getting hit. Of course she does. She's a harder boss. Getting hit is worse. Especially, as I said before, which is why I think people take that as like a real offense that she hits. She hits you, you gotta heal. You get it. Healing gives you another spin at the lottery wheel of hitting them. If she heals, she takes away the progress you did on the last lottery spin. So it's extremely it makes the RNG way of fighting her so much worse. Because you lose progress on the boss fight. You lost an extra RNG chance. You lost it. Now you're back where you were with one less Estus. One Estus, Sunny D. So I was like, that's why people like she doesn't even heal that much. You could fight her with that's the first way I killed her. Honest to God. Heavy shield, tower shield, whatever they call it. To block waterfowl dance. I mean, hey, it's not glorious. It doesn't build up enough Scarlet Rot to get you, so no real punishment there. So it's if she does the waterfowl dance like close back to back, which she won't if you stay in melee, because she doesn't have a cooldown on waterfowl dance, but she has like a priority system, which you can kind of get the feel for. Like, anyway, it's about the self-healing. I'll finish that. The self-healing was like back-breaking. You couldn't do full shield. You couldn't do tower shield against her. She would just heal up to full because she hits you so many times during waterfowl dance. And it's like every hit heals the same amount, I think. Pretty sure. So she would just heal to full, so it'd literally be impossible. But waterfowl dance, like, it has no cooldown, so it can come up anywhere. But if you stay on her, she does it less. She'll usually do it after a stance break or if you pop a bleed on her. Which Moonveil, stance breaking, popping bleed. Ooh, but if you stance break her and then pop bleed when she stops waterfowl, stun it out of her, lay into her. Ooh, now that's a little bit lucky on timing. Hard to control that. But that feels good. Moonveil. Easy. Comparatively. Feels good. It fucking feels great. This is my thought about Moonveil. This is my thought about cheating. Hey. Sure, it makes the bosses mechanically easier. But hey, fuck, if it's fun. Melania. She heals. Tower. Random. I was going to go on a tangent during shields and I finished it and forgot the tangent. Melenia. Yeah, so she has she has one problem. The healing doesn't matter. It makes her harder. It makes getting hit by her more punishing. You didn't want to get hit anyway. Kind of sucks. It's hard not to get hit on the Star Waterfowl dance. But it's one clip. She's not going to heal a lot from that. Negligible. But people just say Melenia's dog shit. They hate her. She gets no sympathy from anyone. No praise at all. A poorly designed boss. Poorly made for another fucking game. Because no one plays with her. She gets hits done. She wants to get hit. You want to hit her? Like my favorite example I think about is sometimes one of her combo starters is she'll jump in the air in 3 directions and do attack. One is she'll jump right on the spot she is, do like a double spin attack. Forget if that has hyper armor. Usually I just roll out of that one, so bad memory on that. Or she'll jump to your right and immediately attack, and that has hyper armor. She has hyper armor when she's jumping. Maybe not in the middle one. I kind of forget. Oh, it's more about the right or left. She jumps right and immediately attacks. As hyper armor, so she's going to your right, get prepared to dodge. If she goes to the left, hyper armor on the jump, so don't hit her while she's jumping. Her feet will touch ground, and then she'll start up attack. When her feet touches ground, she has no hyper armor. You can attack her and stop her combos. Like, there's no better word. That's interactive. If you know how she works, from, rolling with her and finding out what works, you'll find that. And now you have an opportunity to hit her. Get a couple hits in. Hits done. The thing she'll do when she hits done is eventually, sometimes she has a disengage. She'll hop backwards, which is like a reset. When you're at range, she has a very high chance of waterfowl dancing. But waterfowl dancing, if you're at range, she'll use the first bout to catch up to you, close the gap. The part that's nigh impossible to fully dodge. And then you just have to deal with the other two, which I said before. Roll through her, when she attacks, walk backwards when she attacks. Easy. Which means if you really want to kill Melania, get one of the homing missile spells. Because she dodges on cast. Which doesn't matter for the homing missiles. Because you cast it, she dodges, and then they follow her. Kite her around, she'll spam water. That's how you know Waterfall Dance has no cooldown. Because she'll spam it like a motherfucker, but you're out range and it'll never touch it. You don't even have to think about it. Just run around, shoot missiles at her. Easy. Easy Melania kill. Brain dead. Not really fun because it's not interesting, but it kills her. Another place I like to punish her is she has a spinning kick attack. In the first phase, her recovery time is a bit too fast to do it reliably, but maybe if you have a fast weapon, you can do it. Is after she does her spin kick, which is part of her normal combos, you can punish her. In the second phase, the recovery time is longer, or the spin kick slower, so you have more time when you roll through it to hit her with attack. Probably be behind her, get a couple good hits in. It's like, you broke her combo, you got good hits in. It's like, that's like such a good reward for being in with her. It's like, it's to put you in control of the fight. It's so good. And I feel like she has a very low posture stance bar. So it's like, she's gonna break stance a lot when you fight her. Good for damage. Kinda sucks because she likes to waterfowl dance after a stance break. So I kind of got in a habit to, after stance breaking her, running away, baiting out a waterfowl dance, and then staying on her again. Because no cooldown, but it kind of works on a priority system in Melee. If you stay on her, she doesn't really just do it. So that's another thing where it feels like RNG. It's like, sometimes, considering where it's like, she has a ton of opportunities to break her combos just by hitting her, and hitting her kills her. There's some times where it's like, she just doesn't waterfowl dance. If you do her properly, it's like, I killed her because she didn't do that move that's hard to dodge. There's an argument to that, but I don't really think it's a big deal because I don't really want to see that move anyway. Because the rest, that's not the fun part of her fight. The fun part of her fight was all the rolling I did. It's like, hey, it's great she's dead because she didn't do it, but hey, I had fun because I did the fun part of the fight. But no one gives her that credit. It's all about waterfowl dance. There's an iota of truth that waterfowl dance, you just can't properly dodge it. You're gonna take it. 99% of the time, you're probably gonna take a hit. It's hard. It is incredibly hard to consistently get her in the way to where she breaks her tracking on the first hit, so you dodge her. But the rest of her's so good. She's so fucking fun, dude. But if you treat her like a slot machine, it's like, you're gonna hate her. You probably hated the rest of the game. If you weren't having fun before Millenia, you are not gonna have fun at Millenia. Or you can Moonveil. Because you know what slot... It's fucking meta. People complaining about meta builds, high damage builds, cheating the game. It's like, if the game is resource management, rolls and attacks, you get your fucking extra Mario power-ups where it's like, I have 3 Estus Flask, I can take 3 extra hits. Doing more damage means you gotta roll less, you gotta attack less. Killing the boss is the best way to beat the boss easily. So shit like Moonveil that just does insane damage. Like, the weapon art trucks. It does physical and magic damage if you hit them with the sword, which, you probably are. You don't have to be that... You just have to be in melee range. It does incredible stance damage, so you're going to stance break them, and you're going to crit them. It does bleed build up, so you're going to bleed. You're going to pop them, which is bonus. It does damage. It does damage all day, and it's fast. So it works the combat, because fast weapons are important. One of the big first rebalancing things they did was colossal weapons, lowering the recovery times. Because they were almost unusable, because the bosses are just faster in this game. They're more complex, longer durations, so using a lot of stamina for slow attacks means you can't keep up with the boss. It's counteracted by you have to hit them less, so it's very possible to brute force it. But hey, they buffed colossal weapons to actually work with how the game's designed. Because they know how they designed their game. Like, sure, the bosses... Sure, they came out slower, But after getting a lot of people playing it, it became clear, class weapons are just too slow for the game. So yeah, I love Melania. And that's kind of my boss defense. Radagon, Millenia are great bosses. Mohg's a great boss. Foreskin duos, like, it's clear they weren't just placed there. I don't like them. Fighting too many bosses at once. It's hard to do. It's hard to do. Because it's... So how do you fight two bosses at once? You try to use the arena to turn it into a 1v1. I mean, that's how Ornstein's Smo works. That's why people kill Ornstein first. Because he dashes up to you, so he makes a 1v1. So the idea is to get as much damage on him before Smo catches up, and then you go to a different part of the arena. And Ornstein dashes up to you. Which is why fighting them in reverse is a lot more difficult, because it's harder to break them up. The Foreskin Duo has their AI is unless you stand between them in melee range. Even then, I don't even know if that's guaranteed. One of them's going to back up, go range. One of them's going to go be aggressive and stay melee. It's like... They break themselves up. They turn into 1v1s. You just have to worry about the fucking archer in the back throwing his fireballs. It's like... This game... Like, I can't... Because, yes, there can be bullshit. It's not going to be perfect balancing everywhere. Especially, outside of Dark Souls games. There's a careful balance in difficulty. But to not give all these people not giving FromSoft the benefit of the doubt in designing a game that took this many years. You think they didn't think about Melenia and playtester? Shit slipped through the cracks. Waterfowl dance. But people complain about Malekith. He's a good fight. People complain about Radagon. He's perfect. I wish Elden Beast wasn't part of him. I wish Elden Beast was... He should have just been a secret boss. Bonus boss for doing, Frenzy Flame or the Rani Accord. Because you become Elden Lord in the other one, so why even fighting the Elden Beast in those endings? Hey. Melania is nigh fucking perfect. I love her. I'm not saying I'm good at her. She's killed me a lot. A lot. Mohg's killed me a lot. I'm bad at Mohg. Bosses with slow attacks, I just roll too early. They kill me. But that's things I roll too slow. I'm self-reflective. Oh, maybe I don't learn from my mistakes. I do them again, but I know it's me. People, it's there are two things. They don't question what they did, and they give the game designers no leeway. Give FromSoft the benefit of the doubt. You think all these bosses are cheating you? All of them? None of them are well designed? And then I see your fucking gameplay on Reddit. You're spam rolling. You're spamming jump attacks. Treat the game like a slot machine, and it's gonna feel like a fucking slot machine, god damn it. Play the game. It's a good game. Because people love Elden Ring. It's everyone's 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10. But every video I see, every comment, whenever it's brought up, people hate it. They say the game's not fun. Why? Because that's, oh my gosh, spent nearly an hour ranting about bosses. Because where the real thing is, it's not about the bosses. The game's giving you so many opportunities to, try out the mechanics. Feel it fun. It's Sekiro is my example of this, because when Sekiro clicked, it became perfect. When deflecting clicked in, became part of the offensive toolkit. Blocking is no longer defensive. Blocking is your main offense. And then the game just unfolded. All the bosses made sense. Just engaging with the bosses, lowering as much downtime as possible. Just get in the action. Play Sekiro. Look up the secret ending where you fight Owl the Father 2. the Revenge. Best boss in all the Soul games. Hands down. He is perfect for the Sekiro gameplay. But you gotta know the gameplay. You gotta engage with it. And Elden Ring is just like Sekiro. You gotta keep momentum. You gotta keep hitting him. You gotta keep stance breaking. You gotta roll. Because rolling is what lets you stay in melee. Because if you don't roll, you have to back up. You have to disengage them to dodge their attacks. And that just loses all momentum. It's like it's not fun. It's not interesting. It's like the first way I beat I don't remember his name. The first boss in Elden Ring. The F word but with an M, Morgott. Hey Maggot. The way I beat him the first time is this: bait out his ranged attacks, his gap closers, like his hammer and his charge, because those are the only ones I could reliably attack. With my current knowledge of him, my feel for the game speed, I was like, now I want to be in with him. His combos vary up based on where you are positioned behind him. He'll do tailspin attacks, he'll do his dagger attacks, spin slashes based on where you are on him. So he's very fluid in how you position around him. He's got good movement, very fluid. If you stay with the boss, attack and roll with him, it's gonna feel fluid. It feels good. But but then people just call the bosses bullshit, bad design, and they're wrong. Because it's fine to not like Elden Ring. It's okay. It's not. People treat like what weapons you use in difficulty settings how you like is like as a morality system. It is wrong to cheat the game. It is good for it to be as hard as possible with no nuance at all. So you got like people. That's where the fucking Dark Souls difficulty debate, quote unquote, dog shit comes from. It's like, because the games are mechanically hard. The timing on the rolls is, that's mostly where I fuck up in the games, because sometimes I can't keep it up with it mechanically sometimes, and I fuck up and get hit, and eventually that kills you. Hey, it's mechanically difficult to the game. But then it's like, but then the game has a whole bunch of tools, spells, different statted weapons and builds. I'm fucking crying about meta builds, or people using cheesier strats that are mechanic. There's things you can do that are mechanically easier. As I said, killing Millenia with homing spells, mechanically. Can you press your spell attack and run around in a circle? Builds that are like tankier that just rely on spamming high damage attacks. Moonveil. Guess what? Moonveil makes the game easier. But you still get to play the game normally with Moonveil. You still want to stay in melee, roll the attacks, but it just does so much fucking damage and stance breaks all the time. It's like the window where you have to be mechanically skilled is much smaller, so it's less intensive. It's easier. But put like a fucking naked fist only runs, like it's more difficult, meaning it is more correct. Like people are complaining about bosses being bullshit. They don't even engage with how the game actually works. And then all the arguments about like fucking complaining about people who say get good, and your stance on is get good okay to say? Is it nice? Is it true? Are people babies and they should just get good? I mean, it's a blunt way to say it. And it's like, hey, if you want to talk to someone, you can't be that mean. They actually get the point across. Because, difficulty, morality. Where was I going with this? People talk about the game. How they're wrong. Oh, yeah, because you don't have to like the game. It's not. Because I don't think, facts don't care about your feelings, but people's feelings are facts. There are reasons people think the game cheats them and they don't like it. And judging by how they play the game, if how I see them playing the game like a lottery machine is, and they feel like they get cheated out of everything, and nothing's earned rewarded, and then they don't like it. It's like, yeah, I bet you don't like it. That process makes sense to me. But not to say my experience is the best one, the only one, or the true one, because as I said, it's like, what just happened there makes sense. I wouldn't like it either. But I played through the game and I loved it, and I love the mechanics, I love the gameplay, I love the boss designs. So considering that my experience happened, possible, it's clear to me people are lying. Lying is a weird way to put it. People online just aren't. It's just weird to say. It's like they're not thinking critically about fucking Elden Ring bosses. They're not writing thesis papers on Elden Ring bosses. They're just saying their bullshit and they cheat. It's like any topic. It's like impossible to actually find nuance on for, because it's all analogies and like very narrow or just very small bits of information to make wide sweeping claims about. It's like you had a bad Elden Ring run where you didn't really engage with the gameplay. Does that mean there's like no design thought process? There's no clear intentions, careful planning in Elden Ring? Well, I mean, if you only use your gameplay where everything sucked, yeah. But I can't believe that as true because I didn't have that experience. Elden Ring, people online. Really makes me excited for the DLC. If I thought Ragon and Melenia were amazing bosses, where are all the best Dark Souls bosses? Orphan of Kos, Clock Tower Girl. Oh my god, I don't remember their names. The Dark Souls 3 DLC last bosses. Freya? She's okay. Starts with a G. Not Gideon, not Gwyn. The last boss of Dark Souls 3 from the DLC. He's fantastic. Bloodborne bosses. The only good bosses in Dark Souls 2 are in the DLC. Dark Souls 1 are... he's not named Moog. Manus? Abyss Anus? Well, people mostly remember Artorias, but still, like the best bosses in each Souls game are in the DLC. Rip Sekiro. Journey to the West DLC. It's gonna come. Or Sekiro 2. I'll take Sekiro 2 over the DLC. So I'm really excited about Elden Ring DLC bosses. Because to me, without any influence online, my first playthrough, what I took away from the boss is like, these are complex boss AIs that are very fluid and adaptive to how you try to tackle them, and they'll change their combos up based on your positioning, your attack timings. It's like, these are very experimental bosses. Compared to the other Souls game, they are pushing what a boss can do in a Souls-like combat. Which is, that's why I can see, like, for some people, it just falters. And it's weird to say, like, Elden Ring is, like, talked about like it's the peak Souls design. And it's like, FromSoft has to abandon it and go to other game kinds. But my playthrough felt like, it's like, oh, shit. They are opening up a whole new can of worms on bosses here. And it's infuriating for fun, but I can't believe no one else thought that. No one else saw these beautiful bosses. The beautiful bosses, FromSoft's beautiful bosses in Elden Ring, pushing what a Dark Souls boss could do, so experimental. And then people just say they're bullshit. They're cheating. Oh, Muriel. So, yeah. It's such an online problem of making hour-long videos talking about Elden Ring for nobody. You could do anything online. This is crazy. I'm looking at the record timer. It's about to go over an hour. 58, 59, 60. Yeah, 1 hour. It's because the Elden Ring is just me complaining about the bosses. Actually, no, complaining about people complaining about the bosses. And it's just like how much wrong information from a limited viewpoint is. And it really, it's kind of how I was thinking anyway about everything online before that. It's like, that's everything online. People take very small experiences and reinforce it with people that are saying the same things. Like, there's absolutely no self-reflection, skepticism, real skepticism, and it's like no fucking humility. None of these people are wrong. Elden Ring's wrong. FromSoft's wrong. I am right. Game's shit and it cheats. Ragon is not a good boss. Melenia is a poorly designed boss. She's so fun, dude. Let her kill you. Don't even. Lobos Jr. is, I think, a big influence in how I see FromSoft games. Patient of a saint. And I just remember I was playing Sekiro. I think I was watching a Sekiro playthrough, and it's like, he just says, like, I'm not going to attack the boss. I'm just going to practice dodging and deflecting him. I'm going to learn his attack patterns. Because that's engaging with what they do instead of just throwing attacks on them. Just throwing shit I hope it sticks. Engage with the gameplay. Like, and if you do that for Millenia, like, don't even think about attacking her. Just roll with her. Give it a few attempts. Let her kill you. And then once you start learning her patterns or have a good understanding of them, try throwing attacks in. You probably fuck up, get hit again, but that's the learning curve. You learn more, add something new, you get worse. But then once you get better at attacking and rolling, your overall skill is much more improved than when you just know how to roll, and it's so much better than that. And that's how you can apply it to anything. You can think about anything that way. But if you engage with it, have some self-reflective thought, which sounds profoundly stupid and cringe, which is about Elden Ring, but it works that way. What did you do wrong? What did I do wrong? I can't change the game. I don't know how to mod. I can't put big titties on Radagon. Actually, he does get big titties after you kill him. Bummer. Hate to see a rack die. But, yeah. That's kind of it. Probably garbage. But I had to get that out. I couldn't keep it to myself. I just see people wrong about Elden Ring all the time. Also, I'm standing next to my mic in a weird way. I wonder if it's only going to pick up in one ear, or if I got some setting where it's balancing out. Did it change? Hello? Give me a lot of money. There's no way to. Yeah. Sucks that... Well, I mean, the online reception doesn't suck. The game's not doing badly because of how people received it. But, it's just so weird. Like, Elden Ring, people love it. But then whenever they talk about it, they hate it. Which I think is an anomaly. I guess that people hate everything online. It's all... They find something they don't like, and then it's just straight hyperbole of hatred. Ooh. I hope you take it to heart and you can have more fun in Elden Ring by playing the game as it was intended. If you don't like Elden Ring, you played it wrong. You're wrong. You're a dumb baby. Get good. Skill issue. I'm not good at the game, but I try. Try. Roll with them. Roll with the boss. Stay in melee. Keep the momentum going. It's going to feel good if you roll through 5 attacks and intertwining random attacks and jump attacks in there. Like, don't spam jump attacks. Time it. Because jump attacks are critical to the gameplay because they're fast, heavy attacks which do a lot of stance damage. They should show a stance bar on the bosses. Would help a lot. Get those crits in. Crits are great. They're like a soft reset. So you don't have to stay 100% focused on rolling. You get little breaks. Your reward for doing a shit ton of fucking damage is a little break in the flow where you could recuperate. Maybe you can even pop an Estus. Like, that's when you save your Estus. If you're rolling with them, get hit, don't even think about doing an Estus. Keep going. If you get a crit in them, or the boss like does like a phase change or disengages or do something where you're safe to Estus, then you pop an Estus. But yeah, I think I'm just, I want to say, don't read anything online. Only listen to me. Okay. Also, I have one last thing in my dossier. If you liked my opinions and you're a beautiful fat woman, please DM me. And for everyone, I love you. Bye.